Hey guys, Dr. Ben here, F8 Well Centers. Excited to talk to you today about autoimmune. You're probably wondering what this little COVID-looking virus thing is, but this is going to be us talking about how people are solving their autoimmune conditions every single day. And it's amazing. We see these stories all the time. We see people with MS that are able to start walking again. They get rid of their wheelchairs, things like that. We see people that have rheumatoid arthritis, that their joints are now moving amazingly well, and they're able to get up and stand and walk and move. Their lupus is calming down. Their Hashimoto's is getting better. There's over 190 named autoimmune conditions, and it's the third leading cause of death when you lump them all together. So welcome, guys. Pop down below where you're watching from. Love to see where everybody's at, all over the country, all over the world even, and love to see you guys. And let me know if you've got anything going on as far as autoimmune, and I'll let you know what we've had as far as experience and the potential for healing. Hey, Renee, good to see you. So let's get into it. When we start thinking about functional medicine, it's all about getting to that underlying why. Why is the body going haywire? Why are we having these underlying issues? And that's really what I love getting into, and autoimmune is what it's all about, is getting to that underlying why, because there is no magic bullet. Hey, Teresa, great to see you in Arkansas. My parents are down in Mountain Home right now. And Sandy, good to see you as well up in Maine. So here's the deal. There is no magic bullet for autoimmune. There is no, let's give you enough prednisone, let's give you enough methotrexate, low-dose chemo, Humira, $10,000 a month is what they bill insurance for Humira. And all that does is suppress that immune system. So the immune system is getting revved up. The immune system is attacking its own tissue. Just like we can do antibodies for COVID, you can do antibodies for your own tissue, antibodies for your thyroid, antibodies for your brain, antibodies for your the nerves. Like my mom had MS. She had this plaquing on the covering over her nerves. She doesn't anymore because her body was able to reverse this. Hey, Rusty, great to see you. Again, guys, if you're dealing with any autoimmune, pop down below. Let me know what it is, and I'll give you some ideas as far as what you can do and what we've been able to help people with. So here's the deal. Autoimmune. Why did I just put AI in here? Autoimmune, when it's just a one condition, when we've got 190 potential named autoimmune conditions. Well, here's the deal. They all have the same underlying thought process. The body is going haywire. Hey, Brianna Hashimoto's, pay attention. Stacy Hashimoto's and celiac, pay attention, because this is the same thought process that we have when we work with people with Hashimoto's, or when we work with somebody with celiac, is you've got to fix these underlying whys. And it's all the same. All right, so we've got some gallbladder autoimmune as well. Is there an age limit for MS plaque reversal? I have not seen an age limit. We've got a patient right now. She's in her late 50s, and she was able to reverse most of her plaquing on her last MRI. My mom was in her late 40s when she was able to reverse hers. So, I've seen it on many different levels. And let's see. And so Teresa, mast cell activation syndrome and Hashimoto's. Yeah, a lot of Hashimoto's. Hashimoto's, 80% of autoimmune is going to be Hashimoto's. So we see a lot of people that Sandy, MS, RA, and out of control allergies. Yes, so pay attention to this, Sandy, because this is what's driving a lot of these issues, a lot of this inflammatory process, that where the body is attacking your joints, the body's attacking your thyroid, for all you people with Hashimoto's. Or if you don't know which type of Hashimoto's, there's also a bus that transports around your thyroid hormones, and that's the other part. There's actually two types of Hashimoto's. If you don't know which one, it's very important to figure that out. So if you haven't figured that out yet, let me know which ones are coming up positive in your blood work. So here we go. When we start talking about autoimmune, we have different systems that if they're out of balance, they are going to drive this inflammatory process. And they're going to rev up that immune system. They're going to rev up that body's ability to attack its own tissue. And that's what we're looking at. The first one that we look at is the adrenal glands. Many of you people out there that had an autoimmune rev up, it was after a major stressful event. It was after somebody died. It was after taking care of a loved one. It was after these major stressful events, or one time or a long-term stressful thing. So we got some scleroderma. Brianna, you have TPO, but not thyroglobulin, not the TG. Make sure you check that one too, because that's the bus. TPO is to the thyroid itself, and TG is to the bus that transports it around. So these major one-time stressful events or long-term low-grade stress can keep that body on this constant toiling and rev it up. And a lot of people, hey Michelle, a lot of people will have this adrenal stimulation, will drive and stimulate. And you look back and go, yep, I was never the same after that stressful event. Then we also look at blood sugar. And blood sugar is going to be another one that is going to drive autoimmune. Every time that blood sugar goes up too high or down too low, up, down, up, down, up, down, every time it goes up too high, that insulin response is going to stimulate autoimmune. Every time it goes down too low, it's going to stimulate the adrenal glands. We always say the number one stressor to the adrenal glands are blood sugar swings, especially those dips. Every time that blood sugar goes down too low, revs up that immune response. Hey, Rebecca, another scleroderma on there. So every time it goes down too low, it's going to rev up those adrenals to tell the liver to kick out glucose. And so some people, they'll get random anxiety when their blood sugar dips like this. Some people, they'll feel sweaty in the middle of the night. If you're having a hard time staying asleep, that's usually a low blood sugar issue there. But that cortisol response, just like up here with stressful events, every time that blood sugar dips a lot and quickly, this is why some people, it's not a good idea to do intermittent fasting. Every time that blood sugar dips, stimulates those adrenals, gets this cortisol out, and you're going to drive that potential for autoimmune. Vitamin D is a huge one. In the old days, I'll say BC, before COVID, we would see people 25 to 35 in their vitamin D levels all the time. That was the average where people came in. Didn't matter if it was sunny Colorado, Wyoming, Nebraska, California, Ohio, didn't matter. We would see 25 to 35. Now, thankfully, from people listening to this page to a lot of other people out there, we know that they're taking a lot more vitamin D. We're seeing a lot of people in that 40 to 60 range. We like that vitamin D 60 to 80. And especially if you've got autoimmune, you want to be up closer to that 80 level. Hey, Pam, good to see you from Montrose, Crohn's, RA, and have had large intestine mostly removed. Yeah, that is rough. Here's a great story, Pam, and anybody else out there that know somebody dealing with Crohn's disease. We've got a patient, he's 29 years old up in northern Wyoming, and he actually helped took my boys deer hunting this year, and he was to the point he was having 30 bowel movements a day. Before he came into the office, he went down to Denver to the specialty hospital down there, and they didn't know what to do, so they said, hey, let's put you on 5 days of IV prednisone, of IV steroids, and they said, well, I already did that, and they go, well, maybe let's try it again. But he's like, okay, I'm leaving. You guys don't have anything for me. He came in. We got him within a matter of months. He was down to 1 or 2 bowel movements a day. They wanted to remove at least 6 inches of his colon. He was able to save that. He has his own intestines now, and just doing awesome with that. And so he no longer has Crohn's. He went out, hiked all day with us, helped my kids. They shot a bunch of deer, had a great time, and his gut is fine now. It can heal. It's amazing. But here's the deal. Just by taking out your large intestine did not fix the why. It did not fix that problem. Brianna, take vitamin D every day because I have a deficiency. What's your level up to, Brianna? Good to see you, Rebecca. And so vitamin D, get it up to that 80 level. Then we've got estrogen. So this is one of the reasons it's 8-to-1 ratio of women to men with autoimmune. So we see way more women with autoimmune. And a big part of that is estrogenic events. What's an estrogenic event? Well, going through puberty. Last year we found 3 teenage girls with Hashimoto's in 1 month went through puberty, and it stimulated that autoimmune. Going on birth control pill. I see all the time women, if they say, I was never the same after getting pregnant, almost every single time it's an autoimmune condition driven by this estrogen, sometimes going through menopause, going on hormone replacement therapy, all these different things, but especially the pregnancies. If you never felt quite the same after your second or third or whichever kid, it is probably some type of autoimmune. If you have not found it yet, dig deep. And what we run on our blood work with everybody is rheumatoid factor, ANA, and the Hashimoto's antibodies. Everybody gets those tested. So we get a very good baseline. Brianna, I know when I went to the doctor 2 months ago, it was in the normal range. I don't remember exactly the level. So here's the deal. Vitamin D, this is really important. The normal range, they say, is 30 to 100 for most labs. And we like it 60 to 80, especially up at that 80 level. So what do we need to do? You need to know exactly where it is, because if you have autoimmune and your numbers are only in the 30s range or 40s range, it is way too low. We like that 60 to 80, especially 80 if somebody has autoimmune. Okay. I had hyperthyroid and had radioactive treatment, and now low. What is that called? Is that Hashimoto's? Well, here's the deal. You're low now, but your thyroid is gone. If they did what they needed to do, your thyroid doesn't work anymore. So now it's low because you don't have thyroid activity. So Hashimoto's is usually low thyroid. And then Graves is the hyperthyroid. But here's the deal. Just by doing the radioactive iodine did not fix the why. It didn't fix all these reasons why your body went haywire in the first place. That's the thing. You can take out your thyroid. You can take out your colon. You can do any of these other things. But if the symptoms just go away, my wife, they took out her spleen when she had autoimmune way back in college, stimulated by her MMR shot. She had this autoimmune where the body was attacking the platelets, and so they took out the spleen. They didn't fix the reasons why. So, and how do you know if you have Crohn's? I use the restroom several times a day. So here's the deal. Crohn's, ulcerative colitis, any of these gut issues, it almost doesn't matter, because if you're going through and you're fixing all these things, if you're fixing, let's jump up to this one. If you're working on your leaky gut, and your stomach and your large intestine and all these parts of the digestive tract that are off, and you're getting your digestion working better, calming all this down, you're not going to be going to the bathroom several times a day. I had another guy in college, and he was going 20 times a day. He's down to 1 time a day. He lost 40 pounds. He's feeling great. And I was young and sort of dumb. So, just like my wife, she was young and they put her on prednisone. She's like, this stinks. I'm going to go have you take out my spleen. And they didn't fix anything. So, Brianna, you have to fix the why. No matter whether you get diagnosed with Crohn's or ulcerative colitis or IBS or whatever it is, you have to fix these whys, and that's how you're going to get your life back. So leaky gut, this is in the small intestine lining. This is where that intestinal lining is not able to keep things out. It gets into the bloodstream too early, stimulates this autoimmune reaction. We have environmental issues. So environmental issues could be moving into a moldy house, working in a moldy building, working in an office where there's diesel trucks right next door and that diesel fumes getting into your office every day. I had a patient that she worked at those windmills that they make to make a little bit of electricity. She was working in those and doing the paint and things like that on there, which is like really, really toxic because it's got to be out in the weather. And she developed, in her early 20s, she developed autoimmune liver. She was on the liver transplant list. We calmed all this stuff down. She was able to keep her liver. She's feeling great. Everything is going well. So environmental toxins is a huge part of it. Different infections. we know that especially Epstein-Barr virus is very much related to autoimmune conditions. So a lot of people that have previous Epstein-Barr viruses, it can turn into that. It can also be Lyme infections. Hey, Amir, why do we call them autoimmune? The disease is leaky gut. What we call autoimmune disease, simply a collection of autoimmune reaction side effects. Exactly. So why do we call it that? Well, it's because the immune system is being stimulated. It's a reaction to that issue. Leaky gut is a big part of it. Probably 99% of people that have autoimmune conditions have leaky gut, and we've got to deal with that. We've got to calm that down. The last one here to talk about is food allergies, especially gluten. And this is going to, especially for people with Hashimoto's, with thyroid, things like that, like Kay right here, Hashimoto's and MS in Louisiana. Gluten is going to look very similar to the thyroid, and it's going to stimulate this reaction in the body, and it's going to mimic it. And so when we stimulate and attack gluten, we're also going to attack the thyroid or other tissue in the body. So a lot of people, just by getting rid of their food allergies, they calm down that autoimmune reaction in the body. So here we go. This is a lot of information, but this is the thought process you've got to have, and why people are solving their autoimmune issues left and right, and we're seeing miracles all of the time. The stressors, the blood sugar, the vitamin D, estrogenic events, environmental stimuli, infections in the body, food allergies, especially gluten, leaky gut. I can keep drawing lines off there. There's tons of different things that can stimulate this, but these are the big ones. These are the ones, if you have not taken those steps, if you have not worked your way through this process, you need to. And you have to go through step by step. We have a lot of different videos. Brittany, go ahead and pop down below on YouTube. We have almost 600 videos, and a lot for each one of these that you can go through and get more answers. If you need more support than that, our F8 doctors are waiting in our different offices to help you. They are able to do complimentary consultations. Send us a direct message, pop a message down below, and we'll get a hold of you, and you can speak to any one of our doctors trained in this model, trained in this method that I've worked on for years and years and years, coming up with a game plan to help people just like this, just like my mom, just like my wife had an autoimmune. And if you need more support with that, drop us a line and we'll reach out. We can get blood work anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world, and we can help this life, get back to where it's supposed to be. That's my goal, is to help people be more, do more, and give more. So thanks for jumping on, guys. If you have any questions at all, even as you're watching replays, pop those down below. We keep an eye on these comments all the time. If you've got more questions, anything specific, put those down below, guys. And thanks for jumping on. Love having you. Take care.